All right, hey everybody, and welcome to another deep dive. Today we're looking at something I bet most of you have in your fridge right now.
Okay.
It's broccoli.
Interesting.
Yeah, but we're going way beyond just, steaming it and covering it with cheese.
Right.
We got a ton of really cool excerpts from a source, and I'm not even going to tell you the name of it yet. You'll find out later. But the stuff in here really changes how you think about this veggie.
I'm intrigued already.
So one of the things that jumped out at me right away was how much research is out there now on broccoli and health.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's not just like vitamins and fiber anymore.
It's much more interesting.
Like, for example, I was reading about this thing called sulforaphane.
Okay.
It's a compound in broccoli, and some studies are looking at its potential to fight cancer cells.
Right. And that's been a really exciting area of research lately.
Yeah, like, wow.
I mean, imagine if something as simple as eating broccoli could help prevent or even treat cancer.
That would be incredible.
It's still early stages. Oh, hey, welcome. What's up?
Yeah, hi, it's David. Yes, before going into the good things about broccoli, I just put this title because I think that many people think that broccoli is the best thing ever in the world. I mean, if you don't eat broccoli, you are going to be unhealthy. And I don't think that's right. So I would like to discuss whether the broccoli is as good as people think, which I think is not. Thank you.
Hey, David, thanks for chiming in.
Yeah, that's a great point because hype is a real thing.
Absolutely. And it's important to look at things critically.
So you're saying let's unpack the claims and see what's real.
Exactly. Let's look at some of the nuances.
Okay, so we'll still cover some benefits, but also look at the downsides.
And maybe temper expectations a bit.
Sounds good. Where should we start?
Well, you mentioned research on sulforaphane earlier.
Right, that potential cancer-fighting compound.
What's fascinating here is it's not a magic bullet.
Okay, tell me more about that.
Hey, David, thanks for that comment.
Yeah, that's a great point.
It's important to have a balanced perspective and not treat any single food as a magic bullet.
Totally, and that's kind of what I'm hoping we can unpack today.
Absolutely.
So let's jump back in because you're right, it's not all sunshine and rainbows.
Exactly.
I mean, it's still early, but if something as simple as eating broccoli could help prevent or even treat cancer.
It's still early, but definitely very exciting.
Yeah, like, wow.
So, to your point, this raises let's hear it.
Yeah, the thing is that broccoli is not that appetite, It's a bit bitter and sometimes it's mushy and soggy. So it's not a really good vegetable, if you know what I mean. But it seems that everybody is going into broccoli eating behavior, which I don't understand. Why? Because it's green. Oh my God, this is crazy.
David, thanks for sharing your personal experience with broccoli.
Yeah, it sounds like you're not exactly a fan.
And that's totally valid. Not everyone loves every vegetable.
So what you're saying is taste and texture play a big role.
Absolutely. And if you don't enjoy eating it, you're less likely to.
So forcing yourself to eat something you hate is not the answer.
Precisely. There are plenty of other healthy options.
Oh, back to our listener.
Yeah,
what's up?
Have you boiled yourself a broccoli? I mean, it's so stinky. It's just the smell of it is just really repelling. I don't know. It's just a little bit disgusting, isn't it?
Well, David, thanks for sharing your strong feelings about boiled broccoli.
Yeah, I think we've established you're definitely not on team broccoli.
And that's perfectly fine.
So what you're saying is the smell is a deal breaker for you.
Absolutely. Sensory experience is important.
All right, so with that in mind, can you get too much broccoli?
That's a good question to bring up.
I mean, is it possible to overdo it?
Broccoli contains compounds called goitrogens, as I wanted to say.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, and it contains a lot of fiber. It is so gassy. It means you fart a lot after eating broccoli. That's not healthy at all. It can be healthy.
David, that's a very good point about the fiber content.
Right. It's all about balance and moderation.
Okay, let's unpack this.
High fiber foods like broccoli can cause digestive issues for some people.
So it's not just the taste and smell, but also how it makes you feel.
Exactly.
Especially if you have gut issues.
It's all connected.
So you're saying listen to your body.
Precisely.
Okay, so is it really that good for you if it gives you gas?
Well, even our source article asks broccoli, is it really that good?
It may not be worth the discomfort for some people, right?
What's fascinating here is Many foods have anti-inflammatory properties.
Yes.
But so do many other foods and lifestyle choices.
I mean, diet, exercise, sleep, they all play a role.
Precisely.
So it's important to look at the bigger picture.
Exactly.
And I think the key point for you, David, is that not every food is for everyone.
Taste is really important for sure.
So with all that in mind, is the way we're eating broccoli today ideal?
Exactly. And that could affect its nutritional value.
Right.
What stands out to you?
Well, it's cool to see how far back broccoli goes in history, which I wanted to say.
Exactly.
But yeah, I was curious if you knew that it actually comes from wild cabbage.
What's fascinating here is that it has been cultivated for centuries.
Wow.
The Romans were actually big fans of broccoli.
So this raises an important...
Yep, go on.
Yeah, and the thing is that the broccoli, if it's not organic, I mean, it can carry a lot of pesticides, which is even worse of the good things that broccoli has. So it really doesn't pay the price for it.
That's a great point, David, about pesticides.
Yeah, and I was just about to say that it stood the test of time.
Right, but that might not be the full story.
What do you mean?
Well, if it's covered in pesticides, it might cancel things out.
So should we only buy organic broccoli?
That raises an important question.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Organic broccoli is grown without synthetic pesticides.
Right, and that's a big plus.
But even organic farming uses some pesticides.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're just naturally derived.
So it's not necessarily pesticide free.
Exactly.
And it's often more expensive, correct?
Definitely.
Another thing that's...
Hey, yeah, what's up?
Yeah, since we know that broccoli is so gassy, I mean, can you just build a broccoli power plant to generate gas? I mean, let's call it broco gas, So it will be the greatest energy on earth ever. What do you think about it?
David, that's certainly a creative idea.
Yeah, broccoli gas has a ring to it.
But I don't think it's quite feasible.
Okay, let's unpack this.
It raises a fascinating question about alternative fuel.
Right, but broccoli might not be efficient enough.
That's right.
There are existing methods for creating energy.
From organic materials?
Sure, but broccoli would be difficult.
I can't imagine it would generate enough gas.
And you'd have to eat so much.
Okay, so with that in mind, let's get back to the source.
Okay, let's unpack this.
That includes things like cauliflower, cabbage, and kale.
Oh, interesting.
So they all share some similar health benefits.
That makes sense.
What's fascinating here is that they all contain those compounds like sulforaphane.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
Yeah, can I ask you, how do you cook broccoli yourself? I mean, which kind of dishes do you prepare with broccoli?
David, that's a great question.
Yeah, we were just about to talk about that.
There are so many different ways to prepare it.
So you're asking about our favorite broccoli dishes.
What's fascinating here is the cooking method matters.
Okay, I'm ready.
I was reading about how different ways of cooking broccoli.
Yeah, it can really change its nutritional value.
We can consider steaming it versus roasting it.
That's key, I think.
Well, some studies have shown that steaming...
Yeah, it preserves more of the sulforaphane
Oh, really?
because high heat can destroy some of the enzyme.
The ones that help form sulforaphane.
Gotcha.
But roasting broccoli can increase other compounds.
Okay, so it's a trade-off.
Exactly.
And maybe that changes the taste too, right?
Sure.
And that's why it's important to mix it up.
And to not just stick to one cooking method.
One thing we aren't covering is biodegradable plastic.
Yeah, we can still briefly touch on that.
I'll try not to get too excited. Researchers are looking at extracting protein.
This raises an important question.
Well, that about wraps it up for today. Oh, go for it.
Well, I want to tell you about my favorite dish made of broccoli. It's broccoli cheese, but it's a free broccoli cheese. It means I put the broccoli, I put cheese on it, and then I put it on the oven, I grill it, but then I only eat the cheese. I don't eat the broccoli. What do you think about it?
David, thanks for sharing your interesting take on broccoli and cheese.
What's fascinating here is you've essentially created a cheese delivery system.
Chuckles. Yeah, broccoli is a cheese vehicle.
That's a unique approach for sure.
Okay, so with that in mind, we were saying that wraps it up for...
The biodegradable plastic, you mean?
Yes, but I feel like we just started this.
And researchers are looking at extracting protein.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and if you have to promote the broccoli market, how would you do that? I mean, we can make like a slogan like, do you remember the slogan, Utterly Butterly? Can we do something with broccoli? I mean, I don't know, fatty little broccoli or something like that.
David, that's hilarious.
A broccoli marketing campaign.
Okay, let's unpack this.
It would have to be catchy.
Fat little broccoli is pretty funny, though.
Maybe something about its versatility.
Or lean into the health benefits.
Maybe broccoli, more than just green stuff.
I like it.
It acknowledges the skepticism.
Right, because you said the hype is real.
We can try to highlight the benefits,
It's a tough sell for some people, I think.
especially.
What about broccoli? What do you think about?
David, I'm not sure what Mockley broccoli is.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that either.
Is it a specific brand or something?
Perhaps it's a regional thing.
Or maybe a newfangled variety I haven't seen.
I'm afraid we can't discuss this with you.
But let's move on with the show.
Okay, so with that in mind, this makes me think.
To get the most out of our food.
Or at least to make better slogans.
But it really depends on if you eat it all.
So, what do you think, David? Oh, David, that's another interesting slogan.
Mockley broccoli sounds kind of suspicious, though.
It does.
I don't know if I would eat something called that.
It makes me think it's not real broccoli.
Yeah, like a fake version. Is using all the parts worthwhile,
Especially if you do like broccoli.
especially when you factor in the cost.
Now that about wraps it up for today. Oh, go for it.
Yeah, and what about I don't know, jolly broccoli or crazily broccoli, or talk to me broccoli? What do you think about it?
David, those are some wild ideas.
Talk to me, broccoli sounds like a movie title.
Okay, let's unpack this because I love it.
These slogans are an interesting way to think about perception,
How we can make broccoli seem more appealing.
or at least memorable, for better or worse.
So, with all these kooky slogans in mind,
Let's get back to sustainability and food waste.
I'm ready.
We hope that we've given you something to chew on.
And maybe helps you feel better about broccoli.
Everything in moderation. Oh, yeah,
Do you know if there is a broccoli day? I mean, the broccoli day of the year.
David, that's a fun question.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious now, too.
I actually don't know if there is one.
I'm going to have to Google that later.
It raises an important question about food appreciation.
Right, like why not celebrate broccoli?
Exactly. Well, what a fun marketing campaign.
So, with all these celebrations in mind,
Let's get back to sustainability and food waste.
I'm ready.
We hope that we've given you something to chew on.
And it's okay if broccoli's not your thing. Well, David, that's a good question.
I haven't heard.
Oh, yeah. Go on.
And what about if you are not vegetarian? I mean, that you don't like veggies? Can we do something with meat to create something similar to broccoli?
David, that's an interesting idea.
Yeah, like a meat-based alternative.
What's fascinating here is it's about nutrients.
So finding similar nutritional profiles in meat.
Exactly.
What would that even look like, though?
Well, maybe we can consider organ meats.
Okay, unpack that for me.
Organ meats are super nutrient dense.
I bet a lot of people wouldn't like that either.
True, but it's about the vitamins and minerals.
Okay, so with all these non-veggie options,
Let's get back to sustainability and food waste.
because that's a way to appreciate food.
And think about eating the cheese.
Yeah, instead of just only eating the cheese.
Everything in moderation. Even cheese, David. Oh, yeah. Let's hear it.
Yeah, and what about her neighbor, the cauliflower? Is it the same? What do you think about the cauliflower, which is white, pale, and even more stinky and smelly?
David, you're full of questions today.
This raises an important question.
Yeah, I guess we could talk about cauliflower.
We did say broccoli comes from wild cabbage.
So does that mean cauliflower does too?
It does.
So it's related to broccoli.
But is it the same?
Okay, let's unpack this.
Cauliflower is also in the brassica family.
Okay, like we said,
So it shares some of the same benefits?
like the compounds and nutrients.
Exactly.
But you find it more stinky, huh?
Well, that raises another important question.
Yeah, is the smell worse?
That's subjective, of course.
True.
But some people find cauliflower milder.
Okay, so with all these pale, smelly veggies. Oh, back to our listener.
Yeah,
What's up?
I think the cauliflower is the boring one. You know, is very boring and white and even more smelly. That's the poor little thing.
Well, David, it sounds like you're not a cauliflower fan either.
It seems like it's all about personal preference.
You prefer broccoli over cauliflower.
It's all about the taste and smell for you.
Exactly. So back on track with broccoli.
So this raises an important question.
We were talking about food waste, right?
And using all parts of the vegetable.
Right. And using all of it.
Well, it's all about sustainability and the environment. Oh, yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah, and do you know if there is a cauliflower day of the year? We should know that.
Well, David, that's another good question.
It seems like we are on a holiday theme.
Yeah, I'm curious about that too.
We can check that after the show.
Yeah, I think there might be one.
Okay, so back to the protein extraction.
Yeah, David, we totally should.
We should create a cauliflower day.
We should honor other veggies.
What's fascinating here, it shows appreciation.
So with all these veggie celebrations,
Back to food waste and sustainability.
it really makes me think about food waste,
Right, so is using all the parts worthwhile?
especially when you factor in the cost.
Right, it's circular in the best ways.
I think it's worth going the extra length.
Right, so researchers are looking at how to use it.
Extracting protein from broccoli byproducts.
Like the leaves and stalks often discarded.
We had to book it back to the science.
Chuckles, someone has to keep things real.
So tell me more about this protein extraction.
Okay, let's unpack this for real and David too.
What are they doing exactly with waste, though?
Researchers are trying to find better ways
To use the parts of the broccoli, as we said?
that normally get thrown away every day.
Like the stems and leaves you don't like.
Exactly, but somebody might like them.
I'm ready.
Okay, we were talking about extracting protein.
Yeah, and all the parts of the broccoli.
This raises an important question, though.
Is using all the parts worthwhile?
Well, consider the cost of extraction.
And the energy it takes, of course.
Exactly, we have to think big picture.
Right, and then there's biodegradable plastic.
Yes, from broccoli waste.
So, should we make this a priority
It depends on if it's cost effective
and turn them into protein powder?
and different sustainable materials.
Okay, let's unpack this because I'm still curious.
Extracting protein from these waste byproducts.
It could be a more sustainable food production,
Absolutely. It's super innovative to do.
reducing food waste at the same time.
It reduces waste and creates value.
Sounds like a win-win for the planet.
If we connect this to the bigger picture,
What do you mean, and why is it circular?
it shows how we can find new uses to do it. Yep, go on.
Yeah, so in the end, do you like broccoli or you don't? Because I'm not sure about that.
That's a great question, David.
Yeah, are we pro-broccoli or not?
Well, I think it's nuanced.
Okay, let's unpack this because it's not that simple.
As I said, it's all about balance.
And moderation for sure.
I don't think it's bad.
But as I said, I don't think it's a magic bullet.
There are benefits into eating it.
Right, but also potential downsides.
Ultimately, it depends on what we're eating.
And whether we enjoy it, right?
Exactly. And sustainability factor. Hey,
Yeah,
what's up?
can we know how many times per day or per week, sorry, do you eat broccoli?
Well, Dave, that's a personal question.
Yeah, are you wondering about our habits?
I think that's what he wants to know.
Okay, let's unpack this.
As I was going to say, it depends.
But I don't think it's every single day.
What's fascinating here is the amount we eat.
Some weeks I might eat more, others less.
If we connect this to the bigger picture.
I think it's about variety, as we discussed.
And listening to your body
So with our eating habits in mind.
and thinking back to the...
Oh yeah, let's hear
Yeah,
it.
so I know why you have no many friends around. We know now. Thank you. It's good to know.
Wow, David, that's quite the zinger.
Chuckles. Okay, let's unpack this a bit.
I mean, I hope we're still friends after this.
What's fascinating here is our love for broccoli.
Yeah, or at least talking about it.
Maybe it's not as universal as we thought.
So with that in mind, let's finish up the show.
Okay, so wrapping it up,
About what is also truly sustainable.
this is also an important topic today.
I feel like we just scratched the surface.
There is more we should be talking about.
Absolutely, there's a lot more to consider.
The food we are also thinking about today.
So what does this all mean, though?
We need to connect all the dots here for sure.
If we connect this, the bigger picture,
It will become so easy to keep it going well, too.
for things we normally discard away, for sure.
It's also to be resourceful with all items, too.
You see, it's all about being resourceful for me.
Becomes so much easier to be that way in general, too.
But is it even feasible on a large scale?
A lot of people are not thinking about it yet.
Remains to be seen over time.
Over time, there will be new ideas again, though.
It is fascinating that it is circular, for sure.
If we have great ideas, it is definitely a cycle, too.
The best ideas are, and it is a cycle.
What about all other food items?
The future of food is evolving, right?
There will be always more than just eating around, too.
It's more than just eating.
But we need to have more sustainable ideas.
And remember, it's about sustainability.
Maybe we should have a great idea to create today, too.
But all of those factors we just mentioned.
All are needed in this specific podcast to continue.
But maybe even a cauliflower day.
That is so important for what we should consider.
Or perhaps the broccoli day.
Maybe that's what this conversation is all about today.
But are we too excited about that?
But we are not as excited for it as we think we are.
Huh.
It was not exciting for us from a long distance, David.
Okay, David, it's been great having you.
Thank you so much for all your great points today.
Yeah, thanks for your insights and ideas.
It is important. We appreciate all of that in our lives now.
You certainly gave us a lot to think about.
There were some great thoughts all around today, too.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode.
Always have all the great food ready to eat, for sure.
Thanks for joining us today, everyone.
We hope you enjoyed joining us all around today for that.
And remember, eat your veggies, maybe.
It is up to you if you will ever do it again at all.
What does all of this protein extraction mean?
It provides great context to think about all the food again.
We connect to the bigger picture about food.
Should be easier to think again about all of these points again.
It shows how broccoli can play a role here.
But is broccoli really that great overall?
Maybe it will lead to more protein production.
We hope it makes a real and important effect everywhere.
We hope that we've given you something to chew on.
Let's keep providing you with the great details there now.
The protein and more healthy food ideas.
That will be truly amazing to experience again soon for all.
We can consider wild broccoli again.
What is broccoli going to do for this new life we got too?
We should think about it differently from now.
But we should focus our mind on everything great for our health.
With the new ideas, it's time to wrap up.
It has been a good day to do all this kind of thing today too.
All right, it is. So here's where it gets interesting.
Here are all the most important insights and details about food.
I'm ready for more information for today.
We will never lose with this kind of thinking right away now.
We can share our thoughts and learn about it.
What should be considered to provide a good experience back?
There is more information on wild broccoli.
So important to have a good day in our lives from here on out.
We can now tie up all the information.
All the best context and details will be great for life now.
Well, that about wraps it up for today.
Thank you so much for listening today, too. It was a joy and great.
We sure do appreciate you listening here today.
Be so joyful about what should be considered again now overall.
Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
So many more details and fun to keep talking about for real now.
Done and hearing all the food insights.
That was pretty amazing to experience all around as well from there.
Insights helped give us new direction.
To provide a fun day from here on out with all of that again.
We will be here again the same time as always.
Here are all the important ideas to provide, as it was said before.
We can talk about something else that is very different.
Thanks to the big efforts we are making out there for new food.
Thanks for tuning in every single week.
Hope this episode provided great context about everything there.
Have a great day, everyone listening now.
To find more thoughts and important context to say out loud soon.
I hope you found this dive was helpful to you.
What we find here about to say in this specific show today now.
Even with my crazy co-host who loves broccoli.
It will never make that much effect from a distance to you now.
Hey, it is never, ever going to be worse.
All the great stuff should be here to keep it going for all life.
Maybe you'll give broccoli another chance now.
Keep thinking about how everything should make you more great.
Appreciate it from a long distance, David.
Should be more better from a long distance too with the stuff we have.
Remember to always eat all of your veggies.
But it is always about the food you appreciate in your life more.
It is always up to what you can eat.
Only eat the food you love and nothing more at all in this life too.
We enjoyed having you with us a lot, David.
You did so great at helping us create a great context about everything.
Bye, everyone listening, and goodbye, broccoli.
Appreciate and take care of all the great food ideas now for life now.
Thank you.